Hi, it's been a while. You're probably wondering where I've been for the past 3 years, but don't worry, at the end of the video, I will try my best to explain. But first, here's something a little different. I love mystery games. I also like mystery stories in general, but mystery video games I especially adore. There's just something about you being in control of solving capers. To misquote every game critic ever, these games truly make you feel like a detective, giving you a sense of serious accomplishment by finding all the evidence, connecting all the clues, and finding out who the culprit is. There's a problem though. There aren't that many mystery games out there, and some of the ones that are out there don't really tend to focus fully on detective crime scene investigation, piecing pieces of evidence together using your own skills of deductioniness. For more on this topic, the channel Game Maker's Toolkit did an amazing video on how to make a detective game, which I will happily link in the description. That doesn't mean that the so-called mystery games without fully developed investigation mechanics are games that I don't like. Professor Layton, though not having any investigation mechanics, is still a series I love. And Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, though solving the game's central mystery is done through just talking with characters and physics puzzles, is still one of my favorite games of all time. And the game we're talking about today falls into the category of not mechanically complex investigation games, but games I love nonetheless. This meme I found on Reddit pretty much sums it up. If you love games like Ace Attorney, Professor Layton, and especially Zero Escape, you may find something you'll like in this one. This is why you should play AI the Somnium Files. Before we can get into this game, how about that title, AI the Somnium Files? Pretty bland title, right? Well, in a world where such gaming titles exist, such as Horizon Zero Dawn, you can go a lot worse with AI. At least the title references stuff that happens in the actual game. I get the Horizon part in Horizon Zero Dawn, but what in the flying heck is the Zero Dawn? In any case, lame title aside, before we talk about the game itself, we need to talk about the man behind it all, Kotaro Uchikoshi. This man definitely has a specific vision when it comes to writing games. Known for such visual novels as Infinity and Zero Escape, Koshi uses a lot of sci-fi elements in his stories, being inspired by authors like Kurt Vonnegut and Isaac Asimov. His stories also feature a heavy amount of plot twists. He even says he writes his stories backwards, which is actually a very common practice in mystery writing. Zero Escape series is, in my opinion, the culmination of all of Uchikoshi's beliefs and writing practices. As for the Infinity series, I couldn't tell you because I haven't played it. In 999, Uchikoshi's first game as a director, the game tells a complex story of 9 strangers trapped in a cruise ship playing a twisted game known as the No-Nary game, where they travel through the many rooms of the vessel, solving puzzles and talking to one another about why they're possibly here and who the mysterious Zero is. 999 is a slow burn, a smart, methodical tale of problem solving and sketchy paths, and it may just have my favorite atmosphere in any game. The sequel, Virtue's Last Reward, was an even bigger game. While 999 had multiple endings, it limited itself to only 6. VLR had 22. This is due to the new version of the No-Nary game, the Ambidex edition, where you can choose to ally or betray your fellow players. This paves the way for an even bigger web of events leading to a large variety of different endings. While I do have some problems with VLR, it's definitely a more ambitious endeavor than 999, and shows Uchikoshi at his most Uchikoshi. It has philosophy, science, it has a little something for everyone. And the third game in the Zero Escape series, Zero Time Dilemma, is also a game that exists. Zero Time Dilemma is the most disappointing thing since my son. I've been off YouTube for so long, I got into Red Letter Media. Boom! Yeah, Zero Time Dilemma was very divisive for Zero Escape fans, but did that get Uchikoshi down? No. He went on to other projects, one of them being AI the Somnium Files. Now here's an important question. Is AI a visual novel? I mean, it definitely has visual novel elements with dialogue boxes and examining a single space, but it also has moments when you can walk around the environment in third person and even some action segments. So I think I'm just going to label this game as an adventure game, similar to Sam & Max and Cooking Mama. Is that cool? Cool. AI takes place in a technologically advanced near-future version of Tokyo. You play as Kaname Date, a detective for the secret police department Abyss, which investigates crimes by going into an important person's dream world or Somnium, to extract clues and other information through a process called syncing. However, you're not working alone. You have an AI called Aiba by your side existing in your glass eye, and she can help you with the cases you investigate by scanning the environment or even acting as your avatar in the Somnium. The main mystery of AI revolves around the murder of a woman found in an abandoned amusement park with her left eye missing. Your boss says this crime shares similarities with the serial killer case that remains unsolved, the Cyclops serial killings from 6 years before the game begins, which is coincidentally around the same time you lost your memories. You hear a noise coming from somewhere, and then you soon find Mizuki, the girl you share a home with due to certain circumstances, holding a bloody ice pick. The victim in this crime also happens to be her mom, by the way. Mizuki appears reclusive and quiet at first, so you enter her Somnium to extract information where the storyline can diverge in two ways. If you go either way, you'll be introduced to two more important characters. Oda, Mizuki's friend, Anit, and the one who reported the body, and Iris, also known as Asen, another one of Mizuki's friends who also happens to be an idol and a Let's Player. Yeah, that's the basic synopsis of the whole game. You walk around Tokyo investigating crime scenes while talking to a colorful cast of characters in hopes of solving just what the heck is happening. That does sound like a lot of other mystery games, but as I'm sure you can probably guess, there's a lot more to AI than meets the eye. I said that. Did you miss me? AI the Somnium Files features two segments of gameplay, Investigation and Somnium. There really isn't much to the investigation segments that I haven't already talked about. You go to different parts of the city, examine your surroundings, and chat to people using multiple dialogue options. When I said that this game was not too complex with its investigation mechanics, that was technically a lie. There are segments where you interrogate a suspect and use what you found at crime scenes to get to the truth, sort of like a cross-examination from Ace Attorney. The real meat of the gameplay of AI happens in the Somnium segments. Before you enter a person's Somnium, you're told that you have 6 minutes to be in there before, as Tom Hardy in Inception puts it,
we'll be lost in limbo till our brains turn to scrambled egg.
Each person's Somnium is a surreal recreation of their lives where they keep their deepest feelings and secrets. Those feelings and secrets are protected by mental locks, which you need to unlock by performing specific actions in the brain which will count down the timer. Performing the right actions and clicking the right objects will get you closer to what the person is trying to hide. Are these as complex or intriguing as the escape room puzzles from Zero Escape? No, not really. But the Somniums in AI do a great job in just being surreal experiences that test your logic skills and what you've learned from previous attempts at them. Trial and error is a really controversial topic in gaming, but I'm glad to say that it's not too big a deal when you mess up in a Somnium by either clicking too long or pressing the wrong things in the wrong order. Not only can you reset the Somnium, though only a specific number of times, you can also fast forward through dialogue so you don't have to slog through the same stuff you've already heard. As the game goes on, the Somniums only get crazier, funnier, and occasionally even creepier. No two Somniums are alike, so it makes for a well-balanced experience that'll keep surprising you at every turn. There are two major reasons as to why I recommend AI the Somnium Files to anyone who likes these kinds of games. The first being its narrative and how the other game and story mechanics intertwine with it. At its core, AI is a mystery, and a pretty damn interesting one at that. There are plenty of clues, interesting people related to the crimes, and a few curveballs thrown in including characters' actions, or even some heavy-duty plot twist. I obviously won't go into what happens in the plot to avoid spoilers, but if I could give one out-of-context non-spoiler, AI the Somnium Files shares a lot of story beats with, and I'm not joking, Pixar's soul. That is all I'm going to say. AI even has a lot of science, philosophy, and mythology talk in it. Characters often go into detail about those things, whether it be to flesh out a deeper part of the story or just for the heck of it, which I'll explain later. For those who've played Zero Escape, this should sound familiar, as characters in those games will often interrupt life and death situations with anecdotes about how the Titanic was predicted, how an Egyptian woman was preserved in ice, or just Schrodinger's cat. Speaking of similarities to Zero Escape, AI also has a timeline. And while it's not as deep or as complex as Virtue's Last Reward, without giving too much away, this is the final timeline of AI. This behemoth. So yeah, this leads to a lot of different choices you can make, leading to more interesting dialogue and plotlines, leading to a lot more content. This game wants you to complete the whole timeline, and when you start playing this game, you'll want to too. The game takes roughly 20 to 25 hours to complete, so it's a pretty lengthy one to boot. My final reason for recommending AI, and maybe the most important reason, is its wonderful cast of characters. Which is super weird because according to Uchikoshi himself, characters are usually second to the story. Quote, "I'm a writer who prioritizes story over characters, so I start with getting the basic story down. From there I figure out which characters are necessary to the story, and that's how I decide my characters. I've heard that some other writers prioritize character and will come up with the characters first and then write a story around them. There's a much bigger demand for that. That means it sells. I think this is the reason my titles don't sell. Ha, ha, ha." Uchikoshi even has his own design philosophy when it comes to designing characters, using what's known as the Enneagram of Personality, a model that shows 9 basic personality types. He decides which characters will fill out which types and then tries to strike up a balance between them. Quote again, let's say there were more men or more women overall. Or if I make character A a cold person, then I should make B more nice. If there's a grandpa, then I would need a child. Like so, I just make sure if there's a plus, I put in a minus, or yin and yang, positive and a negative, rational, irrational, end quote. While I don't feel the balance between characters is as strong as previous Ushikoshi games, I can still definitely see it, from the relationships between Iris and her mother, Iris and Ota, Ota and his mother, Date and Sosajima, boss and pewter, and of course, Date and Aiba. But I believe one of the stronger relationships in this game to be between Date and Mizuki. If you go down the Mizuki route, you'll see that they have a ton of chemistry. Date is cold and serious about a lot of things, while Mizuki has a rebellious side to her. While Date tries to lighten up his mood with the occasional dry joke, Mizuki is often tired of his bull, leading to some humorous interactions.
What would happen if I grabbed the wheel and spun it super hard?
We would spend the rest of our very short time together thinking about how stupid that was. Girls shouldn't talk like that.
That's awfully sexist of you. This is why no one thinks you're attractive.
I'm attractive.
Uh-huh, keep telling yourself that. That's why you haven't had a girlfriend in 4 years.
My girlfriend is a ninja. She's just hiding in the shadows.
Sure.
Hey, Mizuki, could you get rid of the Cleone in there?
Aw, do I have to?
Yes. If it were just 1 or 2, I'd let it slide, but there's 100 in there.
It's not my fault they started breeding. You watch weird videos when I'm not around, don't you?
Weird videos?
Something about cuckoldry?
No. Those are husbandry videos. You know, like animal husbandry? Raising livestock. Anyway, don't touch my computer without permission.
I should also mention that Date is a huge perv, which has no bearing on the actual storyline, but I figured you need to know that. What makes the relationship between Date and Mizuki even stronger is that over the course of the Mizuki route, it grows stronger. They sit down and talk about what each of them are feeling, like an actual father and daughter, and while it's done with the same dry wit of the two characters, you do get the impression that they truly care about each other. Date even enlists Mizuki's help during the final part of the route, leading to generally one of the sweetest moments in any video game I've ever played. And honestly, I can say that about all the routes in the game. No matter how silly, devastating, or disturbing the game gets, overall, AI is a story of people and their relationships. It's a story of people coming together to help each other conquer the darknesses of the world. Each route can feature the same characters, but no matter how many times you see them, they're always intriguing, and, most importantly of all, believable. The world of AI may not be grounded in absolute reality, but the interactions between the characters are believable and sweet enough that on some occasions I forget I'm just scrolling through dialogue boxes or playing a game where I have an artificial intelligence in my eye that also happens to be a cute anime girl occasionally. If you want to play a game with a deep mystery, a creative way of solving that mystery, and bubbly characters with interactions that'll keep you glued to the screen, then AI the Somnium Files may just be that game. Do I have any problems with AI? Not really. I mean, like I said, the Somnium segments aren't as deep as other mystery game mechanics, but I can set that aside as the levels themselves are just so fun and interesting. My main problem with AI really has nothing to do with the game itself, it's its price. On all storefronts where you can purchase AI, it's set as a full-price $59.99 game. For what the game actually is like and how long it is, I don't recommend buying it at this price. I recommend waiting for a sale or when the price eventually drops due to capitalism or some shit. Oh, also, without giving too much away, there's an ending song and dance number. Make of that what you will. Despite those possible shortcomings, and despite the kind of game AI the Somnium Files is, when I finished the game and got all the possible endings, I immediately wanted to play through the whole thing again. Maybe that's because the plot can get super confusing at some points, but maybe it's also because I had such a blast playing through it, I wouldn't mind experiencing it again. Really shows you what kind of game this is.
A 10.
It's a 10.
Hi, everyone. It has really been a while. I think it has been actually 2 years. You're probably wondering where I've been. I kind of vanished without a trace, uh, and I haven't uploaded anything. I haven't even done anything. I have liked some videos. I've created some playlists of like my favorite videos to watch if you're down. like and I've had added to those, but I've like done no video content whatsoever for like the past 3 years or 2 years. Why is that? Where have I been? Why did I vanish without a trace? Without even saying goodbye. I apologize for going away without even saying anything about it. And I have done some talk, and I have done some thinking about it, like why did I leave? And this is basically what I think happened, what I know happened. Yeah, okay, this is unscripted, by the way, so I do have some notes right here that I've written down. So I guess that there I can say it then. Basically, what happened is like, if you're like me, and you watch, you probably want to make your own video game or make your own movie or make your own TV show one day. I definitely want to do that, and I'm sure a lot of you want to do that as well. Uh, Basically, I took a big look at my YouTube career, and I felt as if it was getting in the way of my dreams of becoming a developer and a writer. Like, I only write for the only writing I ever do is for the content of my YouTube channel, and I felt as if that would get in the way of my career. Uh, hmm. Or should I say my my dream of having a career in video games and entertainment in general, whatever. And on top of that, I also had like a personal life to I also had a personal life to deal with. Like I tried I want to make new friends. I wanted to like build a closer relationships with the current friends I had. So, and I felt like if I just focused on YouTube videos full time, that would interrupt my trying to socialize and stuff. Does that sound selfish? I don't know if that's like selfish or rude or arrogant or anything, but that's just how I felt. That's what happened to me. And on top of that, after looking at what I've done with YouTube videos, I didn't really see a purpose to them. As I'm becoming an adult, I as I am an adult right now, I'm 19. As I'm becoming older, I realize that like money is gonna be a factor, and I don't monetize my YouTube videos. And like and on top of that, my YouTube videos aren't even that great to begin with. Like I do like the content. I do like what I put in my videos, and I put my heart and soul and tears into them. But like I use Windows Movie Maker, and I still do probably if how I edit this video. And because that's what I've known for all my time making videos, and I've never really had the motivation to learn a more complex editing program like Adobe or Sony Vegas or anything. I guess I know, like, just because you have a crappy video editing software, that doesn't mean the quality of the video is any worse in comparison. I've heard that many times, many times. Water break. So why did I come back after all this time? Well, as I'm sure you know, the world for the past year has been kind of awful due to the pandemic, due to everything, the election, racial tensions, all that stuff. And like I have I don't think I've ever been as lonely as I have this past year than at any point in my life, honestly. I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. And so like and so like to aid in my boredom and loneliness and stuff like that, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, as I'm sure a lot of other people have. And after like rewatch, I've been getting back into like watching these videos by like Josh Forcher, Super Eye Patch Wolf, if you've heard of him, Saber Spark, Red Letter Media. Obviously, I have told you about that, and especially countdown makers like Wombu. Wombu was the big one. He kind of inspired me to get back into countdown and review making, because after watching those videos by other countdown makers who are still not dead or not convicted of anything, if you know anything about that, I have to say I missed it. I really missed making videos, and in a time of like loneliness and isolation and just coldness, I feel as though if I can make videos, I can bring people together and just, whether through comments or through discussion, and just bridge gaps and just make the world a happier place. Because I know a lot of people miss my videos. I've seen your comments. I know who you are. Did also mention that I did miss making videos, but I am glad that I took that break because I've gotten a lot of concepts for like novels, video games, movies done. And if you want to see any of them, let me know. I'd be happy to talk about them, though I may not want to talk about them in case someone steals my idea and then I'll have to sue them. I take no apologies. Uh, and yeah, that's basically it. So I just want to, I don't mean to sound selfish, but I just, I just want to connect with people again. I want other people to connect with other people again. I just want to make the world a better place. And so if you enjoy my content, the fact that I'm back means I'm doing my best. I'm trying to make the world happier. And so I hope you can respect that. And I want to be able to make that happen. Now, finally, what is my content going to be from here on out? Because if you watch this video, you'll see that it's completely different from what I did in the past. It's a video essay. And what inspired this video essay was not only me wanting to come back and try something different, but also I've been watching a lot of video essays for the past year from people like Super Eye Patch Wolf, Ryan Hollinger, uh, and among others. There are tons of them out there. And so like I do have some concepts for some other essays, but they're pretty like different and like strange and weird and stuff. So I may save those for a later date. I do have some ideas for countdowns in mind that I want to try out. So look forward to that. As for when you can look forward to that, that's tricky because I'm currently in college now, and college is a lot different than regular school. You have a ton more work. So I'm going to be really busy this spring and but not this summer. Summer is different. I don't know about summer. I don't know if I'll take another class that summer. I don't know yet. But this winter and this spring, it's going to be pretty busy for me. So I don't know if I can create all the stuff I want to create in such a short amount of time. So just be patient, and I'll do my best. Finally, there's monetization. Now currently I don't have a job, and I do plan on getting a job this summer. I do want to get a job this summer, I should say. But yeah, that could also come in between me. And also like I could monetize my YouTube videos and get more time, but like currently as I'm in school right now, I don't really want to focus on money and stuff. I'll focus on money later once I go out into the world and get an actual job and stuff. I'll I won't monetize my videos now is what I'm trying to say. I'll monetize them later. I just figured that's how you should know that's how I operate my business of a YouTube channel. Well, that's it. I'm back, and I hope you're ready for some new, weird, and creative ideas I have for videos that I'm still going to probably use Movie Maker. I know it has not been updated for like 10,000 years, but like it's worked in the past and it's worked fine for me, so I'll just keep using it until I take a class or eventually have stomach the patience to learn another better editing software program. That'll be interesting. All right, I think that's it. Bye. Thank you.